The Duke of York's ongoing battle to keep his royal home of 20 years on the Windsor estate still remains far from over, as the late Queen Elizabeth made arrangements prior to her death so that he could remain in Royal Lodge, according to reports. Rumours have recently been circulating that King Charles is trying to get his younger brother to leave the 30-room mansion in an attempt to downsize the number of properties that make up the royal portfolio. It was allegedly suggested that Prince Andrew, whose annual maintenance loan has already been slashed this year, could instead move into the smaller Frogmore Cottage, which was previously the home of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Recent reports state that Duke will even remain in his lavish property while roof repairs are being completed during the summer, as he is fearful that he will be evicted during that time and not allowed back. However, OK! have reported that Prince Andrew will be able to keep his home in Windsor, and it's all thanks to his beloved mother, Queen Elizabeth. The former monarch set aside inheritance money in her will for her second eldest son so that he could come up with a six-figure sum to afford the much-needed repairs for his Royal Lodge home. According to a source close to the Duke, Prince Andrew was included in Her Majesty's will along with several other members of the royal family, and as a result, he is now able to pay for the upkeep of his beloved Royal Lodge. The source claims there was money left to the family by the Queen. Details of the exact amounts and to whom will never be revealed because the papers have been sealed. But that's where Andrew is getting the money from to repair Royal Lodge. He has been quite open about where the money has come from because he doesn't want people to think he has come up with it through other means. Royal Lodge is a Grade 2 listed home on the Windsor estate in Berkshire, which is just a 5-mile drive from the late monarch's home of Windsor Castle. The 30-room mansion dates back to the mid-17th century but did not have a permanent royal resident until the 1930s, when the Duke and Duchess of York were gifted it by King George V. The Queen Mother continued to use the lodge long after King George V's death in 1952 and died at the property on March 30, 2002, with Queen Elizabeth by her side. After the Queen Mother's death, the Royal Lodge was leased to Prince Andrew in 2003, who was required to pay for any renovations to the property by himself. It's believed that the total costs of the modern improvements made to the home rose above £7.5 million along with the main house. Andrew's lease also includes the Gardener's Cottage, 6 lodge cottages, the Chapel Lodge, police security accommodation and 40 hectares of land. The Duke is said to be relieved that he can now finally have the expensive repair completed thanks to his mother Queen Elizabeth, but has refused to move out while construction is underway in fear he won't be allowed back in. The source added, Andrew has been advised that it's best that he moves out while the work is undertaken because the house is virtually a building site, but he's refused. He's terrified that the property might be seized in his absence. Although the keys to the nearby smaller Frogmore Cottage were handed to the Duke so that he would leave the Royal Lodge on a permanent basis earlier this year, Andrew has no plans to move in and is said to have granted his daughter Princess Eugenie permission to live here until the situation has been resolved. The source explained, he's allowing Eugenie to stay in Frogmore Cottage even though the home was meant for him. She's just given birth to her second child, so while she recovers and gets back on her feet, she's staying in Frogmore to be near her mum and dad. Former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bonds told OK! that Prince Andrew is refusing to change his mind on the matter and therefore going against the King's wishes. The expert said, although I have some sympathy with a man being asked to downsize from the home that's been his for so many years, I suspect that, for Andrew, this is all about status. Referring to the long-standing belief that the property is allegedly earmarked for the Wales family, Jenny added, "He probably resents being asked to move out and make room for his nephew's family, as this will absolutely rub salt in wound. It becomes almost comical if it is true that he is now afraid to move out temporarily while roof repairs are done, in case he's now allowed back. Andrew is a stubborn, proud man who is nursing a grievance, so I reckon he's going to dig his heels in for as long as he possibly can."
Got to be somewhere south who's in our hearts, ready to come home and fall in love. I have been trying to find a way over you to a spot of land where the sun comes up from above. Mountain